on my third day off the ward. The other day, I really missed the people on the ward, but I haven't since. And the days have been getting progressively better. I haven't done one of these for a couple of days. I've mainly been talking into an AI app that transcribes what you say. And if you wanted to, you could review it, but I think the most important thing is actually just talking. You don't have to talk to anyone. You can just do that. That process seems to be a beneficial one, a really beneficial one. And just feeling my way into every day. I do get druggings now and again. I mean, today was going really well for for pretty much all the day. But you do think, I've been thinking at times throughout the day, it's only a matter of time with these people, and it is, and so it transpires that while I'm making my evening meal, while I had lunch, we had a load of really tacky attempts at propaganda, and with all the Hollywood B movie type amateur dramatics. While I had my dinner, druggings, things around, had shenanigans. Arranged around druggings to try and keep their ball rolling, sort of thing. Maybe, and I'm guessing, to increase the propaganda around the town's psychiatric unit, to make them look to arrange and then a perceived need for them to have a certain type of involvement, which is ironically being engineered by them and their mates. But yeah, you look at different things. I mean, the type of arguments that are like in your face sort of thing, and I don't have to argue. I don't have to. It's a case of you pick your battles, I suppose. It's sort of the way they argue what they're doing sort of detracts from identifying. It's sort of a convenient way of doing what classic psychiatry has always tended to do, as far as I'm aware, and that is isolate the individual and decontextualise the individual. It is all about the individual, which you see attempts going on around here. So no acknowledgement of the role played, unless it's to divert you and to see how you all react to ways that they seem to be characterising things. Like when I was on the ward, and some some South Asian fella, was like, some sort of bizarre argument placed in my face. I'm not interested in it in any way, shape or form. I rang the water the other day. Some South Asian, all of a sudden, that everywhere you ring, some argument that sort of detracts from the architects, doesn't it? Very conveniently, some South Asian woman on the phone trying to, stir the shit. And I sort of engaged her in what was, whether she was working for psychiatric services, whether she was working for the water company. I'll be surprised. I don't think they do. If it's a South Asian call centre that I was dealing with, I don't think they do use services like that, the water board. But yeah, she tried to piss me about, so I just calmly, said what needs to be done, where she was going wrong, and so on and so forth, and just dealt with it and got the result that needed to be made. But it's like I said, every time, you can point out these things to these people, but they will still try to make the case for, and I guess it is for propaganda around the not only the local psychiatric unit, the town psychiatric unit, which I say the town psychiatric unit and not the hospital. I do see a divide between psychiatry trying to place itself as a medical rather than a disciplinary and potentially coercive institution. But this is the nature of the total institution that I face. And all the runaround, all the attempts at propaganda makes it look really good. But it's propaganda. It's tacky Hollywood B-movie type amateur dramatics. I mean, today hasn't been too bad looking on the internet. But the other day, it was a type of stuff you would get in the Middle Ages. It was a type of stuff where you would get architecture of gargoyles and stuff like that. Hinting at Puritanism and a Middle Ages type vibe about it, a strong one in many respects, that does hark back to the architects, 96 to 2000. I was thinking of one of the people who jumped on board with them, who was a relation of mine through marriage, and how, he was all hyped up and pointed things out about how I even sat, which sort of placed the architects as the yardstick of what it is conventional, normal, right to be. And this has been going on for donkey's years, and yet they still try with this propaganda that deflects from that. Yeah, you place, you identify, and this was the important thing of me being on that ward this time, is as soon as I remembered the Middle Ages and the puritanical approach of so many people during those years, that it really did click. And that was sort of a bit of a turning point, as was reading books, as was speaking with a member of staff there who was pretty good, and it was remembering that about the Middle Ages that really things did start to click into place. Beyond what I expected them to. But yeah, I've been getting a bit of fatigue off the meds, not sleeping too great, but still getting a lot of fatigue and mental sluggishness. I don't know if that's deliberate. But if you don't think I'm going to go through every day thinking it's only a matter of time before these fucking people start drugging me up for their propaganda and their whatever power they're going for, when the psychiatric unit that should be divorced from the NHS, from the rest of the hospital, that however that, from my vantage point, however that discipline cozied itself up to the NHS, I will never know. Or maybe I will. But I suppose it's just I suppose it's similar to how they cozied up to the architects and the architects cozied up to them. But yeah, that is a central point. That so much of this Middle Ages type vibe, some gargoyles on the internet, for want of a better phrase, this puritanical nature that's underlying it, this the type of scene where they try to characterise what you're doing, or at least test you, how you will react. Of the type of stuff I saw from this guy I was related to through marriage, apparently he died. Not interested. Whether he did or didn't. But yeah, bizarre behaviour off that lad. Very bizarre behaviour off that lad. And sort of, there's an echo of that now, whether that's genuine or not, I don't know. But the important point, whether that's genuine or not, it doesn't really matter. People walking around liking the list. People trying to be crazies, trying to be noticed. Just go through the list and you'll see all what's going on here, which it's bizarre to me that the powers that be still keep on coming out with that stuff, despite the fact that I called it out. I can call it out so effectively. But yeah, so I'll go through it. When I'm having a good day, it could last a week, it could last a month, it could last a year, it could last a decade, maybe. And I would still think to myself, it's only a matter of time before these people start, with the drug-ins and all the rest of it, yet again. And that's just the way it goes. But I'm doing stuff to get on with things again. I've done pretty well these past 3 days. I think I've got through the process of being deinstitutionalised, partly because of the stuff I did there at the hospital, not to get too institutionalised. And it'd be great. To look on the net at what's really going on with the world. It'd be great to go for a coffee, just for a coffee. It'd be great to pop to the supermarket just to go and pick up a few things from the supermarket. But such is the level of what seems to me to be a requirement for propaganda, a desire for some sort of big deal dramatic moment that has got fuck all to do with everyday living in it. These people seem to want that they're not really ever going to get from me, because if you think that I'm ever going to kowtow to those architects, you've got another thing coming. But then the powers that be have the powers that they've got. Like I say, you choose your battles wisely, rather than even though sometimes I'll come, when I'm drugged up, I do say, I can say stuff and react in ways that they'll just capitalise on for for whatever they're going for, which, like I said, does seem to me to be in some interest, care, but some notion of care, which implicated in it is a degree of power as well. It's a significant degree of power, and for me, like I've said, I don't think I've ever said that before, that I would never kowtow to those architects, but I've seen a representative of the local psychiatric unit today, someone who has got a weight loss problem, and I don't know if I was supposed to stop eating or whatever, that sort of thing. But there will be, when I go to town, I wouldn't be surprised if there's more stuff like that. I wouldn't be surprised if all of a sudden, despite the fact that you can go years without seeing anyone who you know in this town, that there will be people I will see that I'm just not fucking interested in. But like I said, the night before I left the psychiatric unit, these arguments in your face, then I'll go with the South Asian one, because I mentioned that earlier. This South Asian fella on the ward, apparently working there, looking bizarre. One of the old stunts they've always pulled. Let's face it, everything they do is old stuff they've always pulled. Then the South Asian woman on the phone who made herself look like a complete dick. She tried it on, so that's her look out. And then a load of shenanigans pulled right today again to try and it's like, what will they not do to look after their architects? I have to wonder, and try to put the onus on me, and try to put the focus on me, and all the rest of it. I mean, it's quite easily debunked. But yeah. So anyway, as I, let off a bit of steam again, as I do, and I want to do that more in voice entries in my journal, rather than videos, but now and again make a video, just encapsulating what I see going on. Also, other stuff that I just find it okay for now to talk about in this room. I plan to start reading in the next few days, but I don't know what the druggings are going to be like. So I've got to work everything around the requirements of people who drug me up. It's not ideal. If the notion was, do they want the best for me, these people in power, then why are they drugging me up all the fucking time? Two things. I would never go down to the architects, and druggings just serves as a diversion, a temporary diversion, to try and make it anything but that I will kowtow to the type of stuff those people would have wanted. And I think, did I mention this in the last video? I think I did, about how classic psychiatry does disempower people, and they may try and cook the books around that, but that is a very definite thing that I would see. And like I say, mentioning this guy who I was related to through marriage, it was just it just turned into a complete knob, that's just what it is. But yeah. So yeah, open to getting to reading this week. I'd planned to do it tomorrow, but now I do go through the days on good days. Thinking it's only a matter of time before they pull out. But hopefully these druggings only last a bit. I mean, some bizarre druggings going on in the past few days. It's only a matter of time before. If you're having a good time, you're clear-headed, you're level-headed. It's only a matter of time before they crack out the druggings again, as they do with their sequences and all the rest of it, to try and look good, to try and look effective, to try and look competent. And yet, my guess is, if you're watching this video, you heard the conversation I had with someone supposedly a representative of Severn Trent Water. And how that went, whether it don't really fit the propaganda, does it, or whatever? If it's some sort of attempt to engineer, the perception of a psychiatric unit in this town, that's just the way it is. Or to engineer a perception of the architects, and all that. But anyway, yeah. So hopefully, after all that, getting that off my chest, it looks like it might be a nice evening. Pity that we have something to eat. We get the performances going on that I think are completely unnecessary, but some people seem to have a compulsion to do this stuff. Really, the onus should be on not only the architects, but asking these people, well, what exactly are you who exactly are you trying to serve here? And look at things in terms of, from my point of view, you have the architects with their dominant narrative, their hegemony, that they then passed on, as we see one of the institutions that have been aligned with the institution that was co-opted by the architects. The one who was related, who married a copper, was a nurse, sounded very, on paper and all the rest of it, sounded great. But then I mention these people, and you will see in the media attempts to, like with everything else. But the only reason I really mention stuff like this is because stop jugging me fucking up. If I want to go for a coffee, why should I be surrounded by propaganda? Yeah? Why should I be surrounded by people trying to make a big deal out of things? You know, we had that guy I was related to through marriage back in 2000. Look at the footage of when I was in town, of how he was trying to point out even how I sat. You know, this is the nature of how backward people can be. But they were made to look modern. And like I've said before, the drug-ins make it appear modern, because there are things you can do with drug-ins. But the rest of it really harks to some Middle Ages underbelly. I'd argue a degree of Puritanism. Looking at the gargoyles I see online and all the rest of it. But yeah, so anyway, this week, now I've got that off my chest. This week, and had a bit of a ramble. This week, try to get back into reading. Hopefully then, I won't be walking around the flat just pointing things out, because let's face it, I know I'm being watched here. You lot know I'm being watched here, and things worked around me. We all know that. Even though, and I thought it would be a wise move to actually, for me and the shrinks to have actually acknowledged that, because I knew I'll never lose that sense that this is just going to go on and on for the rest of my days, probably, almost certainly, from where I'm standing. If a guy can't cook, I mean, they already back at my mum's. They demolished the notion that an Englishman's home is his castle. I think we've established the architects could pretty much, if they wanted to, just co-opt the local institutions and turn everything into a total institution, with all manner of people bust into the town, and eventually they will persuade the people of this town and this area to take part. Again, that goes without saying, doesn't it? But and here I go again this week. Another week of seeing the same old stunts played out time and time and time again, to the point where, to me it's just a farce. It's the biggest farce ever. It's the most ridiculous fucking experience you could ever imagine, and and in many ways the most boring one as well. But the phone call to the woman at Severn Trent, don't think it was supposed to go like that. They didn't get much propaganda value out of that. They didn't get much propaganda value, or actually any propaganda value, out of the South Asian fella on the ward. So they should kind of think. You would have thought, if these people really were smart, that they'd think, or if their discipline was as it should be, they would have thought, well, actually, nothing's really happening here. This doesn't stand up. This argument, whatever argument they're trying to bring to me about South Asians, that has been one of the themes, isn't it? When you notice that stuff, when you notice anything, all I do, look back to the list. It's all out in that, pretty much in that list. The four elements, the variant characterisation, the architects, and all the rest of it. And there it is. But it is useful to point that stuff out until I get back into reading. Then I can start just gradually, bit by bit, getting into reading more, getting into ideas more, rather than adjusting to being back here. I mean, one of the things I came across was that not only should I become accustomed to the area again, but give the area a chance to become accustomed to me. but the area isn't the area as it is it? And that's because the architects, co-opted, and then, to the point where now there are propaganda requirements, power requirements, as far as I can see, with people. As I'm given the, I don't fucking know, to start coughing my guts on. But anyway, yeah. So, another day, having something to eat, people running around, like there's no tomorrow, for the, essentially when you like piece it all together and track it all the way back to the architects, and any attempt to deflect that is it's never going to hold water with me. Final thing, I just did the manhole covers. Was it yesterday or the day before? I sat here and all of a sudden I had a manhole cover. People drive over manhole covers here, right, for some attempt at big deal drama and stuff like that. And I spotted straight away for the first time. Hang on a sec. I'm being drugged up to be made irritable about this. It became absolutely obvious. And from there on, I don't think, unless there are always drugs to bring about what you want to bring about, if that's your bag, but it's not mine. So yeah, that was interesting. I found that interesting. But yeah, so that's about it. My monologue to let off a bit of steam and put a few things in their place.